Dear student, today we are discussing the 12th level chapter, and the chapter name is Vector. In this chapter, at first we are discussing some important topic one by one, and the topics are, at first we are discussing the definitions, then we are discussing the unit vector, after that we are discussing the like and unlike vector, then we are discussing the equal vector, after that we are discussing collinear vector, then coplanar vector, then co-initial vector, then co-terminus vector, then zero vector or null vector, and the last we are discussing the reciprocal vector. So in these 10 parts we are discussing today one by one. At first we are discussing the definitions. In this definition part, what is the vector? Vector is a directed line segment. That is, vector has a direction and magnitude. So, in this part, two important features about the vector is, this is a directed line segment with the magnitude and expressed as this is a vector and this is a direction. This is the initial point O or B according to our choice. So this is OB is equal to a vector. We can say that. This is the definition part is completed. Now discussing the unit vector. What is a unit vector? Unit vector means, suppose A is the vector, then the modulus or magnitude is 1, then this vector is called the unit vector. So that is, when the magnitude of the given vector will be 1, then this vector is called as a unit vector. So this is the complete of the unit vector part. Now we move to the like vector and unlike vector. So like vector and unlike vector. Like vector means same direction and the same sense. Same direction and the same sense is called the like vector. And unlike vector is not same in the direction. This is the vector A and this is the vector B. This is the like vector, example of like vector, and this is the example of unlike vector. So universally like vector and unlike vector, suppose A, B, C, D. This is the vector. So for the like vector, AB, BC, CD is a like vector. So this is a like vector, and unlike vector will be AB, CB, that types. So direction is not same. So in this part we are discussing the like vector and unlike vector together. So and their example with the diagrams. Now we move to the next part, that is the equal vector. So two vectors are said to be equal when their magnitude and the direction are the same or parallel to the given vector. So this is the A vector and B vector. Then A vector and B vector will be the equal vector if their magnitude and direction is the same, or A vector or B vector. This is A vector, this is the representative of A vector, and this is the B vector, and this is the AB and this is the CD. So AB is equal to A vector, CD is equal to B vector, and mod of AB is equal to mod of CD. So this is the two types of example about the equal vectors. So this is the complete of equal vector part. Now we move to the collinear part. For the collinear, the vector are said to be collinear if the vector, this is the A, B point, C point and D point is there, and this is the vector and represent A vector, AB vector is equal to A vector, BC vector is equal to B vector, CD vector is equal to C vector according to our choice. So these vector, there is a A, B, C vector are said to be the collinear vector. Now we are discussing the coplanar. For the coplanar vector, all the vector present in a plane we are not discussing about the direction, we are discussing only their positions. So this is the positions in one plane. If we denote, this is the A vector, this is the B vector, this is the C vector, this is the D vector and this is the E vector, then A, B, C, D, E vector are called coplanar vector because all the vector in a same plane. So this is the coplanar vector. So this is the complete of coplanar section. Now we move to the next part, that is the co-initial part. For the co-initial part, that is a vector, the initial point of the vector is the same. Then OA is equal to A vector, OB is equal to B vector, OC is equal to C vector, OD is equal to D vector, OF is equal to E vector, OZ is equal to P vector according our choice. So these all vector A, B, C, D, E, P, all vector has a one initial point O, and these vector are called co-initial point. That is, all the vectors starting from O. That is, the O is the initial point of all vector A, B, C, D, E, P. So this is the complete of co-initial part. Now we are discussing the coterminous part. This is the example of coterminous vector. Here AO is equal to A vector, BO is equal to B vector, CO is equal to C vector, DO is equal to D vector, EO is equal to E vector. Here you can see A vector, B vector, C vector, D vector, E vector has a one terminus point is O. So all the vector is terminate on O. So this is the example of coterminous vector. So all the vector, this all vector as a represent as a coterminous vector. This is the complete of coterminous part. Now we are discussing the zero vector or null vector. The zero or null vector The 0 or null vector means, suppose A is a vector. Then if the modulus of A is 0 or magnitude of the given vector is 0, then this vector is called null vector or 0 vector, null vector or 0 vector. And represent of 0 vector is this one. So that is A vector is a that types where the magnitude of A vector is 0. Here the direction is not that, this is the only magnitude we are discussing, and this is the 0 vector, and this is the magnitude of the 0 vector. So this is the complete of 0 vector, null vector. Now we are discussing the next and the last part of today discussion. Now we are discussing the last part of today discussion, that is the reciprocal suppose A is a vector, then the reciprocal of A vector is this. That is the direction of the given vector, this and that will be the same, but the magnitude is 1 by, that is the reciprocal of the magnitude. So this is the example of reciprocal vector. A is a vector and 1 by A is a reciprocal vector of given vector. Hope today's discussions of vector chapter will help you to understand this chapter. And when you practicing this chapter for the board exam as well as a competitive exam, this video enrich your knowledge about this factor, and this video extend your knowledge to solve the problem of this chapter related to that topics. Next day we will discuss the next part of this chapter.